So Bill, have you got a favorite historical moment in your life or thing that you've gone through or heard?
Yeah, actually I do, and it's part of, again, it's part of our family history. In 1975, Monica went with a weird family to Telluride and went to the National Hang Glide Championships. And she came back and saying, "Oh, you guys got to go to Telluride, Colorado." We'd never been there before. And so I took the most back roads route you could think of. I ended up driving us to Moab, Utah in a Volkswagen bus, and we went down to the La Salle Junction, and then we went from La Salle into Colorado and then up to Telluride. And it was much later that I learned that back in the 1800s, there was a group of people living in La Salle Junction, and that they were deathly afraid of the Indians, the Ute Indians, who were living between them, between La Salle Junction and Telluride. I mean, that was a main route, though, for all the miners, and even the people who drove, well, the Butch Cassidy gang, when they would catch cattle and rustle cattle from the ranchers there, they would take them across the Colorado River at the Spanish Crossing, and they would take them all the way up to Telluride. And so that was sort of a main route. And so here were the people in La Salle Junction, though they had the feeling that the Utes were going to do something drastic. They don't know why, but they felt that way. And one night a group of Ute Indians came and they kidnapped two young girls and this was a group of Mormons there in La Salle Junction. And they disappeared from La Salle Junction, and all they knew was that they were headed for Telluride. So they got a posse together and they rode down to the Dolores River. And they split right there because they weren't sure which direction they had taken with the girls. And part of them crossed the river and headed up to what is now towards Telluride, and the other one went up the Dolores River. And they ran to the Indians just a day after they'd split up. And the Indians had gone up the Dolores River. And they had these two young girls, well, as the story goes, they had them tied to a tree, and they were just about ready to do whatever they were going to do to them when the Mormons arrived. And there was a terrible gun battle, and half of the Mormons were killed right there on the spot. And I think there were just two left. Two survived that thing, and they either killed or drove off the rest of the Indians, but they saved those two girls. And they came back, took them back to La Salle Junction, and they became heroes. One of them was the grandson of Brigham Young. And if you talk to anybody in the La Salle area who's been there any time at all, they'll confirm that to you, that was a real turning point. That's what molded the people together. When those two guys came back with the two girls, that gave them the strength to go on and survive and become a real community there.